But there was a problem that I found when I was doing this. And the problem was, when I would talk about nutrition to people, a wall would just come up. And so that is the real ticket, to get them to be accountable to themselves. But having somebody outside to help you is huge.
Yeah.
To commit to enough money that I took all the money that was coming to me and invested it into the app.
Looking for real stories of real people making a difference in the Grand Canyon State? Welcome to Finding Arizona podcast. We sit down with Arizona's inspiring entrepreneurs, creatives, and community leaders and give you a front row seat to their journeys, passions, and projects. Whether you're a local trying to find a hidden gem or just enjoy watching someone chase their dreams, Finding Arizona is your go-to place for authentic conversations with a desert twist. New episodes drop weekly, so hit subscribe and start exploring Arizona one story at a time. So welcome back, everybody, to the Finding Arizona podcast. I'm your host, Jose. As always, we bring in fantastic guests every week, and today is no different. Ladies and gentlemen, today's guest is someone who grew up right here in the Valley in Maryvale, Arizona, and turned a lifetime of passion for fitness and nutrition into something that is genuinely changing how everyday people think about their health. Christopher Gonzalez is the founder and creator of the Junk Food app. And before you let the name fool you, this is not what you think. The Junk Food app isn't about cheat days and fast food runs. It's about something far more powerful, making nutrition actually work for real people in real life without the guilt, the confusion, or the unrealistic expectations that have derailed every diet most of us have ever tried. What makes Christopher's story especially compelling for the entrepreneurs in our audience is how he got here. He's not a Silicon Valley tech founder with venture capital backing. He's a guy from Maryvale who saw a real problem in his community, built something to solve it, wore every hat in the building along the way: marketer, customer support, project manager, product visionary, and kept going even when the launch felt like every obstacle in the world showed up at once. His mission has always been bigger than an app. It is about creating healthier families, healthier communities right here in Arizona and beyond. Christopher, welcome to Finding Arizona podcast.
Wow, what an introduction, man. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and thank you.
Yeah, no problem, Christopher. I do appreciate your time. So I'm going to just kind of kick it off by giving you the question that we ask everybody: is give us a little bit of your origin story. But on top of that, growing up in Maryvale in particular is a highlight for me. And how did where you came from shape your understanding of the problem that you're trying to solve? And how does your neighborhood still feel what you're building today?
So I've been in Maryvale for going on 20 plus years. My kids have grown up here. I've pretty much grown up here with them. I'm originally from New Mexico. I spent some time out on the East Coast. But growing up in different communities around my neighborhoods, for me as a young kid, it used to be a treat to have like a fast food, like a McDonald's or Arby's or Sonic or whatever was around at the time. I never really dawned on me that those kind of food establishments were really the only kind of food establishments that were around the areas where I lived. And as I got older, I started working in medical research. I was an EMT. I worked in medical research for about 10 years. And I, I've always been a fitness guy. I've always been, since I was a little kid, my mom had me in a karate when I was a young boy. So I've always been into fitness. And when I left the medical field, I went into fitness and I started personal training. When I started training people, I started learning a lot about people's habits and goals and things that they wanted to accomplish. So yeah, when I started working in fitness, a lot of people, what they wanted to do was they wanted to lose weight. I had some people that wanted to gain weight, but a lot of people wanted to lose weight. Well, the trick is in the numbers. Everybody has a number. the USDA or government recommends a 2,000 standard calorie diet for a typical, person. But everybody's different. Everybody's activity level is different. Everybody's metabolism is different. And so what I would do is when I would train people, I would find what that number is. And I would say, okay, this is your number right here. What we need to do is we need to consume, we need to make sure we're calorie deficit, that we're not consuming more calories than what our body needs. And then we give you enough based on your activity. But by the end of the day, you in the fitness world, you're what we call calorie deficit, which means you've burned more than you've consumed. So I would always use the example just to make it easy to understand is imagine every day you burned 500 calories, right? You were going at 2,000, but with activity and everything, at the end of the day, you ended at 1,500. So that would make you, in a week, 3,500 calories, which would add up to a little bit more than a pound. That's not going to come back. It's just not going to come back. And so what happens is it starts to kind of compound on itself when a person is consistent. And not only that, they learn how to eat more healthy. So, but there was a problem that I found when I was doing this. So, and the problem was when I would talk about nutrition to people, a wall would just come up, and almost like the attention was like, when are we going to go exercise? So, because this is what's ingrained into people's mind. So, if I just exercise, I can do it. Well, I mean, it's not going to hurt you. So, but if you want to hit this goal realistically, you got to get the food right. So, but when people think I got to get the food right, well, they think I don't want to give up things I like to eat. So, because to some people, food is very important. Yes. I use an example. I work with a lady at an Herbalife place, and they have this thing called a reto. So, like, it's like a competition, and it's like once a month, and they'll give away prizes for whoever lost the most weight. And you'll see the ladies, and they'll talk about how they gave up tortillas for a week or a month or whatever. And you could see in their face, they can't wait, until they get another tortilla. Cause it's
Yeah.
I love tortillas,
Yeah.
Who doesn't? So, so to give up things that you love, it makes sticking to a diet super hard for people. So, so I was like, so a lot of the apps now out are for people who are more fitness based in the sense to where they're looking for details. They want how much exact chicken is on that plate. The junk food app's not that way. So the junk food app is different. It's for everybody. It's for young people, old people, everybody. And the way it's worked is the junk food app is it's basically we have a mascot. This guy right here, his name is Mr. Junkie. So he's our little hamburger mascot. And, nice. And he's in the top corner of the junk food app, and he bounces around like this, and he says "hungry for more," a little message, and it's just a little what do you call that emoji? But it's kind of cute, Well, when he's full, he says full and happy. The way the junk food app works is there's a little wheel that goes around like this. So, and every time you eat, whatever you eat, just log it, And every time a person eats, the wheel goes and it turns. So it's pretty cool, man. I could probably talk forever and ever, but I probably want to pass the introduction a little bit. But I'm very passionate about this stuff.
Of course.
So, I made sure that I wanted an app that was relatable to the people.
Of course, I understand completely. That's definitely something. It is incredibly unique that you have such a passion for this, and you really want the best for everyone involved and all the clients and customer base that you have kind of put yourself in front of. It's genuinely, I find it very endearing that someone cares so much and wants to see success in all of people who use their app in his app. And so I appreciate you just even giving us a little bit of that. What I would like to ask you is about the name itself, because the name, it is definitely a brilliant brand move and like a kind of a wild gamble at that too, because it's just the name of it really tracks and gets people's attention. So walk us through that decision. What were you trying to say about this with the name being what it is?
The junk food app. Yes.
Yeah.
It's, I want it to be relatable, right? And you're right. It was like a gamble. And it is like a gamble, but we have, not to, bash any, I love fitness trackers, but we have macros, we have my fitness pal, we have names that sound very exercisey. That's not even a word, but it's all very much into the
Yeah.
fitness aura, right? You hear the word junk
Yeah.
food, you're like, well, I don't like junk food, but it's not about that, right? It's about giving people the ability to eat guilt free. So to eat guilt free, right? And not feel bad about it. And see, because what the junk food app does is like, let's say, and I do this. I'm a very busy guy, so everybody in the world, we stop. There's a reason the fast food restaurants are full and the lines are full because people go eat there. It's just a real thing. It's not like
Realistic.
It's realistic.
Yeah.
And so, but what people, we don't need to shame people for doing what they have to do in that moment. So we want to, with the app, I want to empower them, right? So, all right, you go through, do you know Jamba Juice? So the word Jamba Juice, you would think is a very healthy food, right? I like this shake. It has 30 grams of protein. It's called the Peanut Butter Mood. It's very good. But a medium is 740 calories.
Mm-hmm.
A large is 960. So, right. But if I'm in a hurry and I need that and I need the energy, well, I get it. So the ability to make those kind of conscious choices for the people,
Yeah,
is huge because now they know. So my total number is only 2,500. I'm going to take out 960, and math never lies. So as they continue to do that, they will continue to make progress. So it's a long-winded answer to the question. The junk food app is exactly for that. To not only make people be like, what is that? But to make them know that when they're using the junk food app, that they can eat guilt-free because they're still being accountable for their health.
Yeah. Yes. So now that we're talking about accountability, one of the things that I think is what we just touched upon is like, that's your secret weapon, is that the accountability partners and community into the core of the experience. So why is accountability the thing that actually changes the behavior when information alone doesn't?
Oh, this is the beautiful part of the junk food app, man. But I'll go back to when I was, and I still am a trainer. My voice is a little raspy. I work at this place, Knockout Fitness. It's a great gym, man. But sometimes I'm very loud, so I have to. I gave my voice and I lose my voice.
Yeah, I get it.
But so the junk food. Can you repeat that question again? I lose my.
Yeah, of course. So what we're talking about is the accountability being the secret weapon part of it, because the one thing that you've noticed is that having the accountability partners and the community at the core of the experience with the app is really what makes it work. And so why is it that the accountability thing is actually what changes people's behavior rather than information alone that we usually get in most trackers?
So what I was gonna say before I lost my train of thought was so being a personal trainer, right? I get to know a lot of the psychology of people. One of the things that I like to do is when a person is really tired and they're just like, they feel like they can't go anymore. And I'm not the kind of trainer that's like that. I'm not that kind of guy. I give them to the best they can do and show them they always got a little bit more in them, right? But when they're feeling at that point, I'm like, all right, we're almost warmed up, guys. We're almost ready to work out. And they'll look at me like, oh, and then I'll say, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. And then they'll start, they'll kind of relax a little bit. But it's to build the mindset that you can do more than you think, right? So holding them to a higher standard that they might have for themselves, right? And having them raise that bar by making them be accountable, not just to me, but to themselves. And so that is the real ticket, to get them to be accountable to themselves. But having somebody outside to help you is huge.
Yeah.
Because some people, they tell me themselves, Chris, I wouldn't work out if I didn't come see you. So, I just don't, I just, I wouldn't. And so the fact that having somebody to be accountable to, or I'll say, hey, we're going to weigh you in a week. Make sure you're tracking your food because we're going to see where you're at. And if they're not being accountable to themselves first, they're not tracking their food. And then when the week comes, the number is not going to, they're just going to tell the truth of what's going on. I had a guy one time, I trained him for it was about 6 months, and he was getting strong and he was getting in shape and stuff, but he wasn't losing weight. And I'm like, what's going on? I said, hey man, let me see your numbers. Like something's not right.
Yeah.
So he's like, I was like, don't tell me you never downloaded and you haven't been tracking. I just took the word that he was tracking. This is in the beginning days. And he hadn't been doing it. And I was like, oh man. So I learned at that time, like sometimes, even having them there, you gotta, have them to be accountable. It really makes them do it more.
Yeah,
So the app,
absolutely.
when I built the app, I said we need to make people accountable virtually to each other. So in the profile section, you go into your profile section, you can add friends or partners. This doesn't exist in any other apps. So like, let's say me and you are friends in the app, and the only thing that you can see is the number of calories that I have consumed. And the only thing I can see is the number of calories that you have consumed. And so what happens is, if I'm not eating, you can send me a message. It's a pre-texted message, but it'll go to me and it'll be like, hey, eat your food. So
yeah, I like it. I like it.
And if I'm eating too much food, send me a message that will say, hey, stop eating your food. Or if you don't, the guy, Mr. Junkie, the little hamburger guy, he'll message you and he'll tell you, hey, you've eaten too much. So you have ways to keep yourself accountable within the app. It could be you by yourself. It could be you and a friend, or it could be an entire family or workplace that holds everybody accountable to everybody else. And so the potential in that is really big, because now people don't have to feel like they're alone.
Absolutely. I think one of the greatest things that one of the things that I've noticed, especially when it comes to it's the little bit of the nuances for each app, whether it's something like a thumbs up or just like a positive reinforcement, or even a dislike, a negative, that sort of thing where it's like, you should be doing this to help yourself. And I think that is uniquely different in each app, but it's especially unique in that we're looking at something where this will definitely help people at least feel a kinship to one another, like, hey, someone cares enough to look out for me. Or even so, like, I love the little app AI helper, kind of like the mascot behind the whole thing, who is the embodiment. Yeah, it's the embodiment of the whole foundation of your experience. And like, there will always be someone there rooting for you or keeping you accountable. Like, that's the whole premise, is like, there will always be at least one other person with you. Whether you do this by yourself through the app, there's going to be a support system sort of there. So I really do. I find that very, it's beautiful. So, and the one thing that you were talking about was like how we are so hard on each other and so hard on ourselves when it comes to fulfilling our things that we're required to do or things that we want to achieve. There's a kind of this journey. You have to have a little bit of struggle. So one of the things that this will touch upon is your own struggle with this app. You've described the launch as one of the hardest experiences of your life. Technical issues, delays, software reviews, setback after setback. Take us inside that period. What kept you from walking away, and what was the one moment things turned around for you?
So one of my driving factors, and I'll tie it back, but one of my driving factors is my kids. I have an autistic son, and right now through the app, we communicate with our eating, because I know when he's eating. Like, if I have to be busy, he's 21, he'll be 22. But when I'm busy and I'm out, I can look at the app and I can tell if he's been eating or tracking his food. And same thing, with me. So it's beautiful. So that was always one of my driving forces, was my children and my mother. So the way this started was I realized that a lot of the apps out on the market, people either just wouldn't use them or they were just boring. Like, they were just boring. And then they started charging for like functions like scanning food, stuff like that. And it really started to kind of turn people away from even wanting to track their food. I started tracking my food probably about 20 years ago, before apps even existed. I was tracking it on paper. I would read all the labels and do all the math. I had a little tiny book called Macronutrients or something like that. It was just a little book, and I would, read it over and over so I understood what those things were.
Mhm.
And so before apps existed, I was doing this on paper.
Yeah.
I started training people, and I was so excited because I knew that it worked. And then when people just wouldn't do it, I would just be like so like kind of like just in shock. Like it's like, hey, how do I do this? You do it like this. Okay. And then do the other thing. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm
No, I
like,
just told you.
right. And so it was mind-boggling to me. And
So,
and I would see people, just everywhere. Um and almost like I don't want to say like a zombie because I don't mean it that way, but I mean just like in a way where they're not even thinking about what they're eating. They're just like moving,
yeah,
moving,
yeah, yeah.
and and they're just living in the world, right? And I see that as a problem, right?
Yeah.
Ago, my mom was battling with breast cancer, and like health and having our loved ones, healthy is so important, and I'm just like, man, like I gotta do this. Like I can't not do it. And so what I did was I started looking on the website Fiverr, and I started trying to like outlast like people who could help me like design the app.
Yeah.
Uh, I got the app designed, but I couldn't find a coder. Like not through that website. It was going to be nearly impossible. So I was like, yes, and then I was like, oh. And so then I'm like, I got to go through an American company. I'm going to have to go to somewhere here in the States. So I started looking around, and well, the price to build an app is extremely expensive. So I'm like,
Oh, you're telling me.
I'm like, man, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? God, it was the only thing I can really say is God intervened in a way that I was able to commit to enough money that I took all the money that was coming to me, invested it into the app, broke it down into payments over time, and got the ball rolling. So I was like, yes, yes, yes. So had this, angel investors backing me to push this thing through. Um, we get through the development all over again, the design all over again, and I'm like, all right, cool. This is maybe like 3 years ago. And I'm like, all right, so when are we going to have it ready? I was going to take about 6 months to design it and another, year in coding. A year? I'm like, a whole year in coding? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, no. Well, that gives me enough time to keep it going, keep funding it, keep moving it.
Yeah.
So I did. And during the time, I'm working part time as a trainer. I work as a boxing trainer, so this was a rough time. I'm raising my son. So my daughter, my big daughter, was here with me. I have 3 kids, so 2 girls and a boy. And so my older daughter was here, and we were getting by. Everything was good, but everything's just in limbo. Waiting, just waiting. So we finally get to a point where I get an app, and I go through and I get the design and the code, and we can I have to create a business. So I have to create a business for the app. For the whole first year, the business was just a loss. No money generated, everything just as a loss because the album was in development.
Yeah.
So it's like, we get the app and it's released, and I'm like, yes, I'm so excited, right? Version 1, first time out, doesn't work. I'm like, no, no. So what was going on? Well, we need to have the right kind of keys in the search engines to bring up the different things. And a lot of bugs. So they're like, Chris, we can pull it off the app store, no problem. I hired a team out of Atlanta. They're great, man. So they're like, we can pull it out of the app store and we put it back. But at that time, me and my son were using it, and we were like the only ones on it. Other people were on it, but they weren't really using it. I wasn't really promoting it. So I was like, nah, it could hurt your reputation if you leave it on. So my son uses it every day. Leave it on. So and they're like, you sure? I'm like, yes, leave it on. All right, 2 months pass. I'm just like, any word on that app, right? So I'm like, they're like, yeah, Chris, we got the new build. So 18 submissions to the Apple Store. So 18 kickbacks on the 19th one we got through. Like, yes, now, granted, every kickback is a few days. So we're getting it pushed more, more, more. And it's not like if something's wrong. It could be a comma, uh, a period. Like when it comes to the coding, it's just a world that is just different, you know? So I'm like, man. So anyways, we finally get it through the new version.
Mm-hmm.
The key isn't plugged in fully, so it's not pulling up all the search criteria. So we get that fixed. Having problems at the user base when users are trying to log in, they're getting stuck on page 5 of 9. So we get that fixed. Yeah. So we get everything finally up and running to where we're running pretty good. Now the only thing coming out forward is going to be updates that are going to benefit people. Right now, everything that anybody needs is free. They can use it. And it works. And just getting to this point and being able to even say that, it almost drains my energy just to talk about it but at the same time, it revitalizes me, you know? Yeah. Because it was such a struggle. It was such a struggle, you know? And I'm just lucky that I have this opportunity, you know? That's why I thank God. Because without that, you know, without God, you know, it wouldn't be possible.
I think it's very. I like to ask these questions about like where you started from, what keeps you going, and what's like the big thing that is motivating to you. I mean, that's so beautiful that it's something as simple as, hey, my kid uses this, and it may be something homemade that is just not like fully going, but at the same time, my kid still loves it, and if he loves it, keep it up. And that's like that's the beauty of a lot of these great stories. It's like it just comes from a place of like, hey, I have someone I love that needs it, that wants to use it, and that is, even though it's still rough around the edges and not perfect, as long as they're happy, I'm going to keep using it, or I'm going to keep it up. Like, that's so great. And like, I love that. That is in itself the best thing that as a parent, it's something so beautiful that you share. So now I'm going to be like the person who's like talking to you about the philosophy of just who you are. You've built this around a progress over perfection, which is actually counterculture to what you do for the fitness world, where the transformation photos and extreme diets dominate the conversation. How do you get people to actually believe that and stick with it? Like that whole culture of like the way that you've done this is just like, again, just going after it one step after another. How do you get people to actually believe in it?
Well, that's a great question, man. And well, the first thing a person has to do is they have to believe in themselves. So I'm gonna grab something right here. I'm gonna show you something. So right here, I have a list of books that I wrote. I wrote all these books.
Nice.
Now, this first book right here, this is called "Wake Up, Poverty Inspires Me." This was the very first book I wrote. This is a book about like my life story and where I was at that point in my life. My other book is Awakened Possibilities Inspire Me. It was more books about teaching a person about their mindset, how to change how they think. The Dash was the third series to those two books. And this is a pretty deep book, but it's very based on the premonition that at the end of the day on our tombstone, the only thing that really matters is that dash in between the day we were born and the day we died. And how you live in that dash, well, that's what matters the most, you know. We build for JB Sun school. We build a garden there. This book was ran for the teacher and the kids. It's called the Kindergarten Gardens. It's an inspirational story about kids who built that garden, and it's a fictional one, but it's a real garden. And it's still standing today.
I love that.
My daughter built it in kindergarten, and she's moving into the 10th grade this year at Carl Hayden. So pretty cool, man. This was another one I wrote. It's called the Illuminati Code. It's more of a, kind of like, not like this book, make you think book, a 2020, uh, Evolution of Death, Made in the Image. This one was a alien book. I think is pretty cool, maybe relevant in today's times. And my fitness book right here is Eating Even Conscious. This is one of my favorite ones. Because it really breaks it down on how people eat. So before I made the app or I did anything, I understood that, for me to even get to this point, I really had to believe in myself. Like, and that's after I try and I fail and then I fail and then I try and I fail again and then I try and then I fail again, but I never quit. Never quit. And so when people have that kind of belief in themselves, they can do anything. They can do anything. Well, how are you going to get that belief in them if the only thing they see is this fitness models or these other people eating chicken and rice and stuff? Then they're like, man, I want to eat that. And how are they going to grab? You got to give them something that makes them know that they can. Well, the beauty is numbers, they never lie, man. Even if they ate 2,000 calories in cheeseburger, no, I'm not promoting that. I'm not saying it would be a great thing, but they would lose weight. If they were previously consuming 4,000 calories a day, so knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is real power. And so the app does more. So like, let's say I were to scan a cheeseburger, right? The app will give me healthier alternatives. So if I could eat it if I want, but the AI will suggest, well, you could eat this, this, or this. Well, if I don't want to eat none of those, like I said, eat the cheeseburger, but now in my subconscious, I might go to the store next week and think, maybe grab some chicken breasts, make some chicken sandwiches this week.
Also, just like the idea of accountability behind it, of like, yeah, you have options. You don't have to, your mind isn't stuck in one rail line. You can have the option of like given, like, okay, you can have this, or here's another caloric just as dense or more of a flavorful palate. You can go down this route of like, you have like, the ability to have accountability is also just the thought of like someone giving you the foresight or the option to choose something else. So I love that that's something that the app provides.
Yeah, it's super cool, man, because when a person starts tracking their food at whatever stage they're at, whatever they believe about it, but they're committed, right? They're gonna see results. And when they do, there's always like this glow that comes from people, and that glow is a powerful thing because it changes how they treat other people.
Absolutely.
That's the kind of contagious stuff we want.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's right.
Is there a message or a story from a user that genuinely stopped you in your tracks from the app?
As far as like
just something that like maybe you encountered as being the facilitator or someone that emailed or just like, hey, this changed my life. Was there anything that kind of, because I think the best part of this is that you just did it with the intention of your son and your mom in mind. But I'm curious if there was any other than outside of your own family of like someone who really found this app intriguing or useful.
Oh yeah. Well, the app's only been on the market about 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I have got some comments on there that one of the users has lost 1.5 pounds within a week using the app.
Let's go.
So I was like, let's go.
Let's go. Like that's the epitome of like, it works. Like
it works.
It works.
100%. Yeah, without a doubt, man. Like that's the one thing that I'm very confident that I know because I've worked with hundreds of people. And so I know that numbers do not lie. 1 + 1 will always be 2. 2 - 1 will always be 1. And numbers, everybody has a number. And when we know our number, we have freedom. And the app allows you to have that freedom to live your life. And if one day you eat really good, hey man, more power. Maybe the next day you don't eat so good. Well, don't beat yourself. Recuperate, go back and keep learning, keep adjusting. And that's the beauty of it, man. It's the freedom that it gives us.
Yeah. That's amazing. You've got quite a wrap around like this whole like from top to bottom. And that's the great thing about having what you've been through is just like you've seen and worn every hat. So you know the experience level on all of those different areas. So one of the things that I'm kind of intrigued for, and we're reaching the end of our conversation, so I'm going to orient this towards the future, is you've mentioned plans to build out AI powered recommendations inside of the app. What does that look like? And how do you make sure technology makes the experience feel more human rather than less?
So what happens with the app is it's more of a nutrition buddy in your pocket. Uh, the AI can start to adapt to the user interface in the sense that if you eat a certain type of genre of food, it will start to maybe recommend healthier types of the same type of food, but within that
Got
genre
it.
of food that you like. Um, as the app grows, it's in a very simple phase right now to where I wanted the users to go in there and not have a lot of gadgets to work, but very easily get their results by understanding, okay, it's kind of like track it and forget it. You get to see for your day the list. You can go back and see the previous days, but you get to see what you eat. You get to see where you're at, and then you go on to the next day. With the idea being that the users who are using it on a consistent basis will see those results start to kind of come in as they build the healthy habits
Yes.
around it. So it's really about just getting the users to use the app more than getting them to download the app. Because by using the app, it's going to truly benefit them.
Yes. I love that.
And once you know something, you can never unknow it.
Absolutely. I think
And
knowledge is power. Like that's the great thing about what we do as humans is when we conceptually take an idea and then make it more concrete. I think it, like you said, you have no fear of the unknown, and you are definitely more of like free of that, free, free from that fear. And that is the great part about having something like that in your pocket.
yeah, so the AI basically it's meant to help the user. We're powered by Google Gemini.
Okay. Yeah.
So we have the ability to photo capture. So if you were to
Okay.
take a picture of your food, it can look at it and tell you what your food is.
Nice.
Pretty cool. Because it's Google Gemini, it's up to the same quality of Google Gemini, so it doesn't recognize all foods, but it's still a pretty cool feature. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and the little hamburger guy right now, I have the texts are pre-written text, so they're not texts that are free text. They're just pre-written, like, hey, track your food. Hey,
Yeah.
you're not eating enough. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go off user feedback in the future to see what would best serve the user. Um, because I built it for the people, and I want the people to use it, get healthy, and live better. Um, so they have more time with the people they care about, and they don't have to feel guilty about just living in the world.
I love
That's
that.
the
Well,
main thing for
it's great.
me. And so having the opportunity to talk about it's an amazing thing.
Well, I mean, I appreciate you even just sharing this because again, this could have easily have been like something that again would be as beautiful and as important if it was just you and your family using it versus a whole now what is the whole planet being able to use it. I
That
just
would
think
be
it's
awesome.
again it's again one of those situations where it's like it's a labor of love. You have built something so incredibly unique and so incredibly beautiful that I think having people take the time to really use it and give it feedback too will only make it better because as soon as it gets feedback it's generating ideas and allowing itself to grow and give you the feedback that the users are giving. So it's incredible back and forth, and I know with you at the helm there's going to be it's going to get better. It's going to get more like more friendlier, and like it's going to just improve it on itself. So I do appreciate
100%.
you taking the time to even create something like this. So you're building this for Arizona with a mission that's bigger than an app. Healthier families, healthier communities. Where is the junk food app going from here, and what does success look like for you 5 years down the road?
That's a great question. So the junk food app, I want to grow organically first here in Phoenix. I want to get all my Arizonans healthy and feeling good and tracking their food. I want them to tell all their family members in the surrounding states about it. I have family out in Boston. I have family in Florida. I have family in Texas, New Mexico. So I want the United States to benefit from this app. And then I want to move it outside of the United States. But for right now, my main focus is right here in the US. Now, with the success of the junk food app, I want to make it my mission. I will make it my mission to give everything back to my community. So what I want to do is, as the revenue or whatever happens with the app, I don't know how this is going to happen, but as it comes in, I want to go into neighborhoods like Maryvale. I want to build community centers. My idea has always been a gym and a library connected. So you have your resources well, now libraries I guess would be computers, but
Yeah, yeah,
the technology
yeah.
to better yourself. With the gym, I wanted to have some strength training, yeah, and maybe some boxing, kickboxing, cardio, fitness to teach people how to be healthy and self defense. I've always been involved in that, and I feel that really helps people just to be better out in the world. So the long vision of the junk food app is to give back to the community through different programs, and to give back to the people, to just live better lives, live more healthy. We're only here for a short period of time, and for while we're here, I've always believed it's not the things that you carry or what you do, but how you treat people and how you live. And and
Absolutely.
uh, and so I just want to do that to the fullest while I'm here.
Absolutely, Christopher. I have no doubt that it's only going to get bigger and better. That's 100% a guarantee. Like, you have absolutely everything wrapped in a nice bow because you have the confidence of someone who has been through the numbers enough to be like, hey, look, it's like you were saying, it's mathematical. People will find some kind of aspect of this app and will fall in love with it. It's just a matter of time. And I know that as you grow and you build this, it is only going to be increasingly more fun to experience this as an owner and as a father. It's, again, one of those things where it's like you are building it and experiencing it as they grow and as they get bigger. So it's only going to take a little bit more time to see the little things that you do with it get bigger. So it's like teaching them how to tie their shoes to be more independent on themselves is like the same kind of experience that I'm going through right now with my 5-year-old. So it's, again, one of those aspects where I just truly think that it's going to get better with time. And so, Christopher, I really do appreciate you giving me the time of your day to explain this app, how much you truly appreciate and want to give back to your own community. I tip my hat to you because, again, I know I'm just a little down the road on the other side of the 17. I've been to Maryvale. I've met a couple of Maryvale people. My parents live just north of you, over in Glendale. And so
Okay.
I just, again, one of those places that I've been through, seen, also heard things about. Again, the other thing with this podcast, we've had one of your senators come in and share her experience about, supporting the community and having to do what is right through clean elections and doing the things she's doing. So I really do have a love and an appreciation for Maryville and those who come out of it wanting to give back. So, again, thank you, Christopher. I give the
Appreciate
floor
it.
to you to let everyone know where they can find you online. So go ahead. The floor is yours. Take it away. Give us your email, your address, all the things that people can find you on social media. Go ahead.
So on social media, you can find me at Christopher Vince Gonzalez. Just full name, Christopher Vince Gonzalez. There's the junk food app page that is connected to it. On on Instagram, Christopher. I'd have to actually look at it. I should know all these things, right? But they're also connected. So the Facebook would be the main one. You can find me on there. The junk food app is in your phone. You just go to your app store, type in the word junk food app. It'll pop up. I have a website, www.junkfoodapp.app, www.junkfoodapp.com. Either of those will take you. You can message either of those, and I'll get those messages as well. So I'm a very personable guy. You can literally just message me in Facebook, and I'll message you back. Um, uh, and even Instagram. either of those, they're connected.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Christopher, for coming in and sharing who you are and what you're about. And I love, I hope that people will go out and start downloading the app and just enjoying it and using it to its fullest. But before we go, ladies and gentlemen, you can hear every one of our episodes at findingarizonapodcast.com. All of our social media under Finding Arizona Podcast. We make it easy for you to connect with us. And last but not least, we end every conversation with a kiss of tongues and belly rubs to our four-legged friends. And we will see you next time. Bye, y'all.